going to be that team where you can really push them and go far in the tournament. You have the injury. What's going through Tracy Abrams' mind when you realize that you tear your ACL?
It was just like more on some, just reflecting back, and I can look on it now. I was down. I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get an injury, especially a season ending injury. You a senior. We all got like these NBA dreams and hopes and stuff like that. You know, an age. So you got to know as a player. For me, I'm realistic about that. That's going to impact my situation. So that was something that I thought about. But though that year, excuse me, helped me to prepare, like, for what I'm doing now. In terms of the mental space, the mental capacity of, being able to accept who I am and, what I'm doing and the vision that I have for myself. Because, being sidelined, all you doing is watching. Then I got to thinking, what am I going to do if I'm just literally, I can't hoop no more? What would you be doing? So I started to take, my life a little bit more serious, especially when I got in, master classes and stuff like that. So um, that year was tough, but like it made me who I am now, if that makes sense.
No,
And
it makes a lot of sense because adversity does one or two things. It either breaks you or it makes you.
yeah,
And it seems like, you handled that the right way. And I remember watching you. You were another coach over there on the bench as well. Tell about, you didn't just leave that leadership when you got injured. You carried it over to the bench. How was that experience now that you're not on the court, but you're still, barking at guys or trying to help and teach guys, and then you got the new freshmen and young people coming in. Tell a little bit about how that experience, we talked about how it makes you, but how did that benefit the other people that were on your team? Because I think a lot of people in the world, when they have something bad happen to them, they go into this hole and they,
that was my main thing that I didn't want to do. I didn't want to just be isolated because the more time you self, the more depression, the more negative thoughts and stuff like that. So I'm like, I had to put myself in a different perspective. Like, what if you do want to coach one day, or, what if you lead? Or because I started to take I started taking I started taking organization classes, leadership classes. So it was like, what if you lead in your organization? Like, what would you be doing? So I was already in a mindset where I'm practicing, the stuff that I'm doing now, in a sense.
so you had an opportunity to be able to hand off some of these lessons that you're learning, both from the injury and in class, to your teammates.
Yep.
You prepare and you work your tail off to get back, and then you have another injury.
Yep.
How now? I am a eternal optimist. I am forever positive. But how did that? And I get that from you. How did that second? I think it was the Achilles, right?
Mm-hmm.
That time. How did that
That
affect
one, that one, that
mentality?
one, that one messed my mentality up a little bit. I had to, honestly, I like after that one, I got like real it connected like with positive energy. Honestly, like thinking positive, being positive. I really, really had got connected because once that first happened, I was low. I
Mm.
was like, damn, like I don't even got a chance. And after a couple weeks, I'm snapping back into reality. I'm getting back in the gym, and to be honest, when I got back, I was literally better than I ever been. That's what's so crazy about it all. I could shoot better. I was doing jumping better and stuff like that. So, you know, once the second one happened, I was like, you know what? I would have rather for that happen now than in the middle of the season where I really couldn't finish my career off the way I wanted to or whatever. But so like, the timing was crazy. Like in that moment though, I know the second one, I was down for at least a month or so, like just mentally
Right.
in a bad space. Honestly, like, my mental wasn't like strong like the real character of who I am. It was just like going through the relapse of like, adapting what's going on. Then I just had to reflect on like, hey, you just said this during the last injury. Who would you be? What you gonna do? So, it all actually played out well, man. Because I swear, like, I got my masters. That was the best thing for me.
Mm.
Just mentally, just knowledge wise, and just stuff like that. I think that was just different for me, and that really helped me.
Okay. Was there anyone that you leaned on when that time was going on? Because
Yeah. For sure.
Because it's always difficult when we're trying to climb out by ourselves. So who was
Obviously,
that influence that helped you?
obviously, I led on my family, spiritual world for sure, God for sure. Most importantly, um, I got connected spiritually with myself. Got connected to God. And Hutch, my dad, like my stepdad back here in Chicago. Not my stepdad, but my dad. Here in Chicago, he was real strong with the mental component of all that. Just being consistent with checking on me mentally. Uh, and even being consistent with me on preparing for the next level. What's next? Like, all right, let's start applying that. Like, even though you still got that opportunity. Like, I still had a really solid senior year. Like, I swear, like, if you look at my games and you look at like the overall thing, it was a solid year for me. We was a couple games away, but it was a solid year. So I was cool. I wasn't cool with us not making the tournament ever, but in a component of my story and where I was at, I was definitely happy with that. Look how I did Michigan before I left. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with that journey, that experience because it made me who I am now.
Yeah, you took my next question from me because I was going to say that you came back. You had your highest scoring percentage now by a little bit, but you had your highest scoring percentage. You had your highest free throw percentage. You
I
tied your highest rebound percentage.
43. Yep.
Yes, and and you were right there as far as shooting. So you take all of those negatives, you turn them around to a positive with the help of course, your higher power, your family. Now you're going on and you're looking at this next level after having such a nice senior season. What were the thoughts? And you and I talked about this a little bit. What were your thoughts when it was okay? Now, how do I look at going on to the next step?
I was basketball wise, I was so ready. I had really good years when I played overseas. I was like 14, maybe like 5 assists, 5 rebounds, or something, 6 assists, that's really solid. But for the situation I was in, and just thinking long term, I had to distinguish like, you know, which one is more realistically the best for you. I could still be hooping right now, making a couple of dollars, but I'd rather be invested into myself, into my long term career.
Oh,
You
I
know,
mean, no doubt. I don't mean to cut you off, but you talked about the numbers you put up in both Cyprus and
sir,
Serbia. I mean, man, you average 16 points a game, like 6 assists and like 6 rebounds.
yeah,
Those aren't just good numbers.
those
Those
solid,
are hella good numbers.
solid numbers. I can't lie, those are really solid numbers. I don't know. I just man, the space that I'm in, the space that I guess like I visualized me maximizing myself and like I was gonna have to put a lot of years into my overseas career to get to where I really wanted. I'm just being honest.
Right.
My chances would make it like it happens. People does make the league from overseas and all that type of stuff, but my chances were it's not as high. Realistically about it wasn't as high. So me just continue to watch and think about the trend of how my career was going and how my financial situation. Um, I had to make a grown up decision, and
Right.
it was a tough one, but it was a one that I was comfortable with that made me feel at peace.